Hello and welcome back to episode number 14 of the End Zone Boys. I'm here joined by Donnie. Welcome. And we'll be
Welcome.
doing the week two recap. The last game is still ongoing. However, with that being said, we will still break down every single other game, all 15 games that have already finished. And let's start with the Thursday night game. The Packers defeated the Commanders. Donnie had that one correct. I did not. Obviously, somewhat biased. But Donnie, what were your kind of takeaways from this game?
I think the Packers are Super Bowl contenders. I still believe that. I thought that, I still think the Packers, I love their offense. The wide receiver room's kind of weak though with a few injuries, but the defense does look solid. And I feel like the Commanders really couldn't do anything on that Thursday night game.
Yeah, obviously, first off, the injuries to Dietrich Wise and Austin Eckler, that sucks. And that kind of killed the game. But yeah, I had the Packers at 6-11. Obviously, that's not going to happen anymore
Yeah.
unless something
Well,
crazy
you
happens.
never know.
I'll take that as a loss. I was wrong. The Packers are a really good football team. They might be the team to beat. Like it's 2 weeks, and even though I was hating on them, even after last week's win, like I have to admit at this point, like they're a contender and they're one of the best teams in the league. With that being said, like I did like the fight of the Commanders. I know we still lost by 9 points, but like the finishing stats didn't look that bad. Terry McLaurin just needs to get more involved. I think that's the main thing. Just over the next few weeks, he did the same thing last year, where he kind of started slow and then finished really, really strong. So I kind of expect him starting next week against the Raiders to really ramp back up and put up the numbers that we kind of expect him to do.
Well, also we have to notice that the it should be at 27-10 because the last eight points were just garbage time points. So
Um,
I'm
they were like 7 minutes left or like 5 minutes left. It wasn't
well,
like
yeah, but like everyone knew the game was over by then.
no, oh yeah. I mean, once they scored, their last
Yeah.
touchdown was over.
But yeah, if the Packers do stay healthy though, I can definitely, yeah, they're definitely gonna make it. Playoff guaranteed. They could fight for the first seed. But yeah, unless they pull a Bears where they go 4-2 and then they go within 5-12.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? With that being said, the Commanders, like, I'm not super worried about this. We lost the Buccaneers week one last year, and we still made it to the NFC Championship. So, like, I'm not awfully worried, but obviously we have weaknesses. Offensive line looked awful. Defense didn't look great, especially the secondary. So, I mean, there's flaws. The Packers are a really good football team, though, and I'm not really worried against like other weaker opponents in the next few weeks. I think we should be able to handle them.
Yep.
Moving on to our first game of Sunday, maybe the game of the year. I get it's
Yeah.
the Cowboys and the Giants, but this was one of the greatest football games I've honestly ever watched the whole game through at least. And this was awesome from start to finish. Kind of just a 40-37 masterclass. Russell Wilson looked like he was back in 2013. Dak Prescott threw for 362 yards. Malik Neighbors, Wanda Robinson, like it felt like every single pass was a deep bomb. But what did you think?
I didn't really watch a lot of it, but it was a good game. I have to admit, George Pickens kind of carried the game at the end. But I don't know. I like the Giants offense, but it's still the Giants. They're like a cursed franchise. They're like the Jets. Anything in New York is bad right now. But yeah, I feel like the Giants should have won that game. Though if Russell didn't make that, Russell played an incredible game besides the overtime interception, which did cost him the game.
Yeah. Yeah, and Javonte Williams looked great again. Cam Scatterboo actually outran Tyrone Tracy, so that's an interesting thing to watch. I'm guessing that over time he will become the leading RB. Obviously, he's not much of a pass catcher, but in terms of carries, like straight carries numbers, he definitely outdid him. But who knows with the Giants quarterback? Like, obviously, if Russell Wilson kept playing poorly, they would start Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart even played in this game a few snaps, just running the ball. But after this game, like I feel like you're obviously not benching him after this game, but it just kind of delays the inevitable of Jackson Dart starting at some point this season.
And with the potential Jameis Winston going to the Bengals after his injury,
That
which
we
we'll
can
talk about
talk
that
about that
later.
when we get to there.
Yeah.
What I told you, what I sent you today. I mean, there are other moves that kind of make more sense, but I could be
Yeah.
open to a Jameis Winston for sure. Donnie, your Steelers lost in I don't want to say pathetic fashion, but they lost 31-17 to the Seahawks. Both of us picked the Steelers, and both of us were incorrect. But as a Steelers fan, what was kind of your big takeaway?
I have three main takeaways. We lost based on two plays. The first play was the interception in the end zone, which should not have happened. It was a miscommunication with Calvin Austin in the end zone. He should not have went for that ball. So that was our first mistake we made. Our second mistake was Caleb Johnson, as probably a lot of people have seen, the fumble, or not fumble, just like the miscommunication. So those two plays definitely ended the game for us because with before that Caleb Johnson, we were only down 17 to 14. But I mean, I'm not even upset that we lost that much. We if you look at stats wise and how if you watch the whole game, we should not have won that. Like our defense was just letting anything through. Offense wasn't as productive as it was on the first week. And I do think yeah, I mean Sam Darnold, he played a decent game despite the two interceptions, but I do think the defense does need to step up. And I'm liking the Seahawks defense a lot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, are you worried at all about the Steelers defense? I mean, coming into the year, it was obviously supposed to be their strong suit, and through two
Yeah.
games, they've given up 30 plus points in both of them to average to below average offenses.
Yeah, and I also, yeah, the other issue is also that we have a lot of injuries. I mean, Joey Porter's gonna be back next week, but Highsmith is out for 4 to 6 weeks. Harmon is probably gonna be out for a minimum of 3 more weeks. And then we have, oh yeah, and then Deshaun Elliott's probably gonna be out for another 3, 4 weeks. So I just think that even with once we're healthy, I don't know, I'm not too sure, but we're just missing a lot of tackles and we're not like keying in on a lot of easy plays.
Yeah, the Seahawks looked fine. The Steelers just looked bad, and I think the Seahawks kind of took advantage of
Yeah.
the mishaps. Obviously, the Caleb Johnson, the interceptions, and the Steelers definitely could have done more. But in the end, it was kind of like the Seahawks just outplayed him. Kenneth Walker looked good. Jackson Smith and Jigba played well. And the Steelers never really ran the ball great. They didn't really pass the ball great. Like if you're not going to do that and get outplayed on offense, like it's going to be hard to win the game for
Yeah,
sure.
I agree.
Moving on here to probably my worst in terms of pick. Rams over Titans 33-19. I mean, through the first half, I actually think the Titans were up at halftime, and I was really
Yeah.
impressed with Cam Ward. And then just second half, the wheels kind of fell off. But yeah, Devontae Adams played great. Cameron Ward, sneaky, was pretty good. It was just like second half, he was just fine. First half, he played really well. Any takeaways from you, though?
I mean, I'm kind of expected this to happen, but if I was in your shoes, I would have maybe this take would have probably been something I could reason with maybe weeks 15, 17.
Yeah.
Big reason is because I mean Cam Ward he still has to get into his new place. He's a rookie still. He played decent though, but yeah, I'm not really surprised what's happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take some weeks. I just thought this might be, the game where like he balls out. He played fine. I mean, 1933, 175, and a touchdown isn't bad. But
Yeah.
when you have the Rams scoring 33 points, it's definitely be hard to outpace them. And I mean, the Rams defense is good. Like you got to give them
Mhm.
credit. I don't want to say they have no holes, but like they have really good players at all 11 positions. Their offense is really solid. Like they just don't really have any huge flaws. And even Kyron Williams had a bad game, and they still put up 33.
Yeah.
Speaking of not great picks, Donnie picked the Jets to beat the Bills. I don't know about that one. Um, I believe Justin Fields was 3 for 11 for like 20 something yards before he got pulled in the fourth quarter. Um, Bills kind of just ran away with this one. Obviously, the Jets did not win like Donnie thought, though.
Well, the reason why I thought the Jets were gonna win is because I thought the Steelers defense was just facing a really good offense, and I thought that that would happen again, but obviously I was proven wrong, and the Steelers defense is just really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Justin Fields. Obviously, in concussion protocol, he probably doesn't play this week, but who knows? Tyrod Taylor looked fine, but like, I mean, they couldn't run the ball. It was basically over at halftime. Josh Allen didn't play well, but like they just ran the ball down their throats and put up
Yeah.
30 points. Like, sometimes you don't really need a Josh Allen masterclass every game, and
Hmm.
that's basically what happened this game.
Yeah.
A fun game, sneaky fun game. The Patriots beat the Dolphins 33-27. This game was kind of crazy with kickoff returns, penalties, like kind of basically everything you could have. The Dolphins look better. However, they still lose the Patriots at home. Drake May played fine. He looked really good in the first quarter and a half or so, and then
Hmm.
overall in the second half he was fine. I thought that didn't really have another good wide receiver. Stephon Diggs has not looked good. Um, And the Dolphins probably played better offense, just way worse defense.
Yeah, I have to agree, but I do think the what's his name? What's the coach's name of the
Oh, Mike
Dolphins?
McDaniel.
Yeah, he's definitely on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean it's just hard. I don't think the team's very good around him, especially the defense and the offense looked good. It's just like when you're not winning games, it's hard to keep your spot, especially when you haven't won a playoff game for the Dolphins in like what 23, 24 years. It's kind of hard to overcome that.
Hmm.
And here we go, Donnie. Do you want to start us off on Joe Burrow? What do you think here?
Um, so I don't know. I thought that the Jaguars were gonna win. They obviously had a pretty decent lead. But I do think they kind of just fell apart in the second half, especially down the stretch in the fourth quarter. I mean, Jake Browning, I mean, that two touchdown, three interceptions is not great. But I mean, the defense did hold for the Bengals somehow when they needed it.
Yeah. What do you think the odds that Jake Browning is the starter the next 3 months or however long Joe Burrow's out? What are the chances of that?
I don't know. If he plays like this, I mean, his three interceptions is not good. Especially in like a span of what, like two,
Yeah.
3 quarters.
They won the game though. I mean, to be
They,
fair.
that's true, but I don't know. I just don't think I'm not too high on him. I do think the Bengals could seek out a trade. I could definitely see week 8 if Jake Browning doesn't turn out to be, because I mean they've seen Jake Browning before. He in 2023, he played like most of the season. He was decent, but he kind of fell apart last 4 or 5 games. So I do think the Bengals, if they're looking to maybe make a playoff push and then hope that Joe Burrow comes back, they should definitely trade for someone. That being said, I did mention Jameis Winston, but I think you want Shador, right?
Shadur Sanders. I mean, in the end, the Bengals have to still compete this year. Like they have Trey Hendrickson, who's probably gone after this year. You have a lot of big names, Jamar Chase, Higgins, where you can't just tank with that caliber of players. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's better options than Shadur, but at least having Shadur, even if he's behind Jake Browning and playing and starting him a couple games, just because I think on the Browns, like if Shadur is going to be the number 3 quarterback and not play at all this year, like I just don't think that's good for his development. And I think if the Bengals offered fourth rounder or a fifth rounder maybe, I don't know, whatever it is, then I think like the Browns would maybe be willing to because they don't really care about him. But yeah, Jameis Winston makes sense. I just don't know if the Giants want to trade him with kind of the vibes that he's brought.
The
I don't know
Giants.
what other names could be possible. I mean, Kenny Pickett, but not really. It's
Um,
just like how
yeah.
many names are on the market that are better than
Well,
Jake
the
Brown?
issue is that the reason why I don't think it's going to happen is because the Browns obviously one are a division rival, and then two,
Yeah.
you don't see it. You rarely see it happen where a rookie gets traded mid-season, especially one that's so highly praised. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't think we've seen in a while. That's why I'm not too convinced it's going to happen. I'm sure if the Browns do want to trade him away, they're going to be asking for a lot. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to happen. I do think the Browns maybe lean on like a guy like Jameis Winston, maybe like maybe, I don't know, maybe they go for Mac Jones. He looked pretty good this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Maybe I mean they screw it, go for Daniel Jones maybe. But I just don't think that Shador is an option for them, for
Yeah.
being
That's fair.
realistic.
Fair. Speaking of Mac Jones, legacy game here, 26 for 39, 279, and 3 touchdowns on 26-21 victory. Spencer Rattler looked fine. I know the stats look good, but if you watch the game, like he missed some bad throws, he made some
Yeah.
bad decisions. Um, I mean, like Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave are fine. It's just like when you don't have weapons, it's just hard to be really good. Mac Jones looked good though, without some of his weapons like Brandon Ayuk. But what do you
Yeah.
think here?
I mean Mac Jones looked like he was back in his rookie season. He looked exceptionally well. I do think it's going to be interesting how he's going to play out. I wonder if he's going to be like Daniel Jones again, where he's just going to break out again. Considering that Brock Purdy's probably going to miss another week. And I do think it's pretty interesting. It's good to see Christian McCaffrey's back, but yeah, I do think this is going to be very interesting for the 49ers right now.
Yeah, and it's just a question of how long can Christian McCaffrey stay healthy. Because if this offense doesn't have him, it's just another element where, like, if you're starting Brian Robinson, you don't have an elite quarterback, you don't really have any elite weapons. It's just like they can kind of just like spread their defenders around, whereas they kind of have to put more attention on stopping Christian McCaffrey before other things. And
Hmm.
that opened the passing game, at least in this game. But I don't know. The 49ers are 2-0. Like, you can't take that away.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
um, week one, they barely beat the Seahawks. And week
Hmm.
two, they could have easily lost to the Saints. They had a drive going at the end of the game. So, like, two plays, two defensive stops, and you're looking at 0-2 against two not great teams. So it's just kind of like staying afloat until Brock Purdy can come back and you get healthy.
Well, I don't want to count out the Seahawks, so they are pretty good because they beat the
Yeah,
Super
it's just
Bowl,
like they
the
could have easily lost
2026
that game.
Super Bowl champ Steelers.
Sure. Uh, the Browns lost to the Ravens. I mean, they stopped Derrick Henry, 11 carries for 24 yards.
It's
They stopped
true.
Lamar Jackson on the ground. I mean, like, it's just like when your offense throws a bunch of throws an interception, some turnovers, it's just like hard to overcome. Browns defense looked good. I know it
Hmm.
41 points by the Ravens, but most of that was in garbage time. The game
Yeah.
was over. I believe the Browns had more yards, total yards, than the Ravens. But yeah, the Ravens were always winning that game for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, at this rate, I feel like the Joe Flacco is going to be inevitably be benched. He's just probably, I feel like it's going to be, I mean, Dylan Gabriel looked pretty solid. He threw a touchdown
Yeah.
during garbage time, but still, it's pretty good. But yeah, I do think this is definitely a interesting year for the Browns right now.
Yeah, and sneaky Quinshawn Judkins. I wasn't expect. I mean, they were saying that they were going to ease him in, but I mean, he already had the most carries out of any running back, and they were down most of the game, or basically the entire game. So
Yeah.
I think that's good in terms of fantasy outlook. Good thing I have him, but in our league, but yeah, I think the Browns are just it's kind of a waste of a year. It's just development and
Yeah,
finding what players you're going to have next year,
I
basically.
agree.
I believe last game in the early window, this was a absolute beatdown. You see Amon-Ra St. Brown stats, you see Jared Goff stats. I mean, they just put
Yeah.
on an offensive masterclass against former offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. What do you think on this one?
I mean, obviously the I don't know, someone in the locker room must have fueled up the Bears because they had an insane revenge game. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny. You saw that defensive celebration against Ben Johnson, but yeah, the Bears, I'm not too convinced. They're still not ready. I do think it's going to take another year for the Ben
Mm-hmm.
Johnson offense to be fully integrated. But I do think it's good though to see Romadunze do good. It's still good to see that. He can definitely be a reliable wide receiver one if DJ Moore is not available. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I am big on Caleb Williams. Like,
Hmm.
yes, I like Jaden Daniels more in that before that draft, but like I I love him and I still think he's gonna be a really good quarterback. It's just at what point do you start like questioning whether he's the guy? Like, it's 2 weeks into the season. This is not the time yet, but like he has not looked great both games. They've lost both games. It's just seeing if Ben Johnson believes in him and what happens with that.
Hmm.
Moving on here to the controversial game. I don't
Yeah,
know if you saw the
I
ending.
did. I did.
That I think it was the right call. I know it's a tough call in that moment, but I do think they made the right call. It clearly was a penalty. It's just like, how often do you actually call that penalty when it happens? With that being said, the Colts, we both picked the Colts. That's some ball knowers right there. But
Hmm.
what do you think about this game?
Um, I mean, Daniel Jones, he looks like MVP candidate at this rate. I do think this is a bit concerning though if I were the Broncos right now, because I mean they're in the same situation as the Steelers where everyone thinks they have like the best defenses in the league and they're letting them down in key moments. So I do think both the Broncos and Steelers are in the same situation. They need to get stuff figured out. But yeah, I Bo Nix, he played pretty well today, but I think he needs to lower his interceptions. His decision making's been a little bit shaky the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Cortland Sutton, another like Terry McLaurin, just hasn't really started going. Troy
Hmm.
Franklin looked great in this game. Like, who knows about him? Marvin Mims looked good.
Hmm.
On the other side, Jonathan Taylor had a great game. Like, I mean, they just fed the ball to him basically through three quarters when they were up.
Hmm.
And then when they were down, they kind of spread it around. Daniel Jones looked good. Like, he's a capable quarterback at this point. I understand it didn't work out with the Giants. We know that they're probably not the best for quarterback development. But Shane Steichen, who I believe was the offensive coordinator with the Eagles, like, he knows how to do quarterbacks. He fixed
Yeah,
or he helped get Jalen Hurts where he is now. And I kind of did the same with Daniel Jones for sure.
I agree.
So the Panthers lost again, and Donnie, do you want to you were kind of hyping up Bryce Young here. Do you want to back him up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean the stats might look good, but in reality, those most of those points were garbage time points. I don't think the stat line or the score really shows the true meaning of the game. I mean the Cardinals offense did struggle, but they were able to capitalize a lot. But I don't know, Bryce Young, I'm still high on him. I just don't think he has enough weapons. I just don't
Yeah,
think.
yeah. I mean, I believe the score was 27-8 or something. Like it
Yeah,
was in the fourth quarter. I get like the Panthers had a drive going at the end of the game. They turned it over on downs, but like they had a chance to go win the game. I just think like sure, you look at the stats, Bryce Young, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, like cool. But with that being said, like he threw 55 passes. There's just like you're
yeah,
not gonna win games when Bryce Young throwing 55 passes, especially at Kyler Murray's 25. Like that just shows the difference in the game. Cardinals kind of had it under control until the end, basically. Um, yeah, I just like Bryce Young. Sure, people were praising him, but like, I don't know. Yeah, like you were saying, garbage time. I still don't think he's the guy past this year. Like, I think that they should draft
yeah,
someone in next year's class because there's a lot of quarterbacks I'm high on.
yeah. But I mean, Bryce Young is still pretty good. He's still under rookie contract. I still believe in him, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just like what'll happen the rest of the year. Like if he looked like week one, like he might be benched after midway through the season.
Yeah,
Today,
maybe.
like yesterday, he was fine. I just don't think the stats really show the true, like the true meaning.
Hmm.
Another one Donnie picked right. Donnie on fire this week. Why did you pick the Eagles and what did you kind of see with them?
Um, I don't know. I just don't believe in the Chiefs right now. Travis Kelce looks so washed. He just looks like incredibly washed, especially that drop in the end zone to give them the interception. But
Hmm.
I mean, the Eagles shouldn't be proud at all. If I was an Eagles fan, I'd actually be worried right now. I wouldn't, because obviously the offense isn't looking really good. I mean, Saquon's doing average right now. He's doing above average. But I don't know. I'd be worried right now if I was an Eagles fan because the offense just doesn't look very. It looks very like incomplete. It doesn't look very like fluid, in my opinion, compared to last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not going to be the same as last year, especially like Saquon's been good. He hasn't been what he was last year.
Hmm.
I think for the Chiefs, it's just like when you don't have a run game, like Pacheco had like 20 yards rushing, Kareem Hunt had 30. Like when you don't have a running game and Patrick Mahomes, like he doesn't have the weapons to pass the ball 50 times, like it's kind of going to be hard to win games. Like Jalen Hurts had 101 passing yards, and they won the game. So like it's kind
Hmm.
of different ways to win the game. I still believe in the Chiefs and that they can make a run at the playoffs. Like I still think they're a playoff team and a playoff caliber team. But with that being said, obviously 0-2 starts not what you want.
Yeah.
Last night's game, JJ McCarthy was not great. Do you still believe in him as like a top 10 pick, like that value?
No. At this moment, not right now. I do feel like he is a little bit rushed right now. I feel like everyone's putting like so much pressure on him. They're like expecting to be a really good quarterback. I mean, he's not insane, but I mean, week one did show he had some flashes with him. Um, but yeah, I just don't think that he's at the moment like a really good quarterback. Maybe later in the season he could be really good as he develops, but at this moment I feel like the pressure is too much on him and that he just needs to relax a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean he was injured all last year, so that's tough.
Hmm.
I get Michael Penix's stats don't look great, and actually probably are about the same. But they ran the ball with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier like 35 times.
Yeah.
So they were up the whole game and just kind of run the ball. Michael Penix didn't really have to do a lot. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not worried about the Vikings because their defense is still pretty good, and they'll get Jordan Addison back after next week. I just don't think JJ McCarthy is like crazy good. I just think it'll take some more time because he missed all of last year
Yeah.
to really ramp up and get to what his potential is.
Yeah. But we still know that Kevin O'Connell is good at developing quarterbacks, so I wouldn't be surprised if later in the season he turns up again.
Yeah, I trust Kevin O'Connell with basically any quarterback
Hmm.
to turn it back around. And I still think JJ McCarthy
Yeah.
will get better as the season goes on, like you're saying.
I know. Like if I mean, obviously not right now. Sam Darnold doesn't look good, but if he can make Sam Darnold look like a god last year, then he could probably do it with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, yeah. So the last game today, or the last game that we will recap that went on today, is the Bucks versus Texans. Bucks last minute drive. I can't say I watched this game because I had stuff going on.
Yeah.
But with that being said, They won on a last minute drive. Baker Mayfield looked good. CJ Stroud doesn't look awful. It's just like when you don't have another again, when you don't have a running game or a true running game, it's just kind of hard to win games.
Yeah, and also, I don't know, CJ just doesn't have a lot of weapons too. He only has Nico, in my opinion. I just think that I don't know. Ever since his rookie season, the CJ Stroud has struggled in his. He just doesn't feel the same. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's tough with that O line. The defense looked good. Like I still believe in the Texans defense. It's just like
Oh
who
yeah.
is gonna win that division now? Like the Colts are kind of in the front runners now with how Daniel Jones has looked. I still believe in the Texans to do something, and Jaguars maybe, Titans probably not, but it depends how they turn around. Like it's really anyone's game in that division, and Texans really aren't front runners anymore. With how they've looked in the first 2 weeks, now 0-2 and 2 games back.
Well, we also have to take in consideration. I do think this is an overreaction, and because the Texans have played incredibly good teams, like the Rams and the Buccaneers are incredibly good teams with,
And played them competitively, yeah.
yeah, and with like top 10 offenses in the league. Which I do think is a tall task for the defense, and they've been handling it, but it's just the offense hasn't been performing. But I think when they face division opponents like the Jaguars or the Texans, they'll be like sweet. They'll won't have any problem at all.
Yeah, for sure. And I think they'll get better as the season goes on with their
Hmm.
young players. They're really young offense, for sure.
Yeah, they just have an unlucky 2 games.
Yeah, yeah. And the game going on right now, Chargers up 10-7 as we speak.
Hmm.
This will kind of decide as we look at the current standings. Donnie 1 game up, tied overall between
Hmm.
both weeks. So if the Raiders win, then we tie overall, and tie this weekend. I will be ahead overall. If the Chargers win, Donnie will win both this week and be ahead overall. So kind of a big game. Geno Smith has not looked good, but again, we just started the second quarter, so can't really take too much away from this. But what do you think? Do you still believe in the Chargers?
Yep, I stand by it. I think that the Chargers have a top 10 offense, probably. I don't know about the running game, but I don't still don't believe in the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know. I really liked how the Raiders played week one. They haven't looked good in the game so far, but 3 quarters left to play. Who knows? Geno Smith threw an interception. But
Hmm.
who knows what will happen in this game? Chargers defense is good. Raiders defense is not. So it's basically a shootout if the Raiders are going to win this game.
Hmm.
So as we said, currently we're tied overall, and Donnie might be the week two champion. I will not be the week two champion. Best case for me is a tie.
Hmm.
But that'll do it for this week's episode. We will be back, hopefully, week three preview on Friday or Saturday. Any last things from Donnie?
No, Steelers are gonna win the 2026 Super Bowl against the Lions.
Mm,
31 to 26.
Speak it into existence. There you go.
Hmm.
For me and Donnie, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you can find us. But that'll do it for us. See you guys next week.
See ya.